Hi, I'm Rumdy from Queen's Radio and we're here in the Europa Hotel with Josh Record.
Hey.
And we're going to ask him some questions about his upcoming album, Pillars, which is out in the end of summer. So, how did you get into the whole music industry? Is it just sort of name, like an advantageous surname that you've got?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it was amazing actually. Like, it was all a little bit by accident, and you know, I loved writing songs, and I wrote this one song, which for me was just the most genuine song that I'd written. So I thought I have to sing it, and then Zane Lowe from Radio 1 downloaded it illegally off YouTube, and played it on his Radio 1 show. So it was like. It was amazing because I was just sitting at home, and suddenly I get all these kind of tweets from like, "You're on Radio 1," you know. So it felt really good that it was just a genuine sort of find and stuff like that. So yeah, I feel blessed to not have been able to, you know, sending in demos and stuff like that for ages.
So everything sort of happened a bit quickly for you?
It did after that. Yeah, it was a bit of a roller coaster, that's for sure.
Speaking of a roller coaster, how do you find that your success in the past year has affected you?
I don't know. I think it's you know, every day is so overwhelming. You know, it's like last year, at the beginning of last year, I would have no idea what was going to come for last year. You know, I supported some of my favourite artists last year, and did some amazing trips and things like that. So I don't know. I don't know if it's really even affected me. I'm still sort of taking it all in, to be honest. It's a bit crazy. So
you've supported London Grammar and Bastille so far.
Yeah.
What's been your favourite show that you've played?
You know, my favourite show was probably I did a show in Amsterdam, and I supported a guy called Rodriguez, who's from the film Searching for Sugar Man, I think it's called, isn't it? And that was amazing because it was just an absolute buzz, and there was 6,000 people there, and it was just, oh my gosh, I sort of walked on stage and just looked out and thought, like, what am I doing here? So it was really good. That's my favourite.
Do you prefer sort of more of an acoustic performance or a bit more of a big upbeat?
Yeah, well, one of the things that I really wanted to do last year is do a bit of a different kind of touring and stuff, because I do love, obviously, the bigger gigs and sort of playing in front of hundreds or thousands or whatever it might be, and but I also love the intimacy of a really small gig, you know, in a room. And actually we did a bit of a house tour last year where we drove across England, and we did some in Scotland as well, and played in people's living rooms acoustically, and just right there. So it was like 40 people crammed into a room, and it was hot and sweaty, and you know, it was really, really good.
How did you find last year's festival season?
I mean, the festival season was amazing. I was fortunate enough to go to Glastonbury the year before, and then to kind of come again and be playing and stuff like that was just like, I couldn't believe it. So I was kind of probably like a little boy, sort of running everywhere, and I almost missed my stage time because I was watching. Who was I watching at the time? I can't remember. I suddenly sort of looked at my watch. I was like, I had to run back, and it's a bit of a maze as well. So you have to really know your way around and stuff. But it was brilliant. It was a bit of a hard slog camping. I'm not the best camper, so I kind of woke up every morning kind of like, stuffy and hot, and then having to play was a bit weird, but it was really good.
At least you're not in a camping scenario. No?
Yeah, I know, this is a bit much.
How did you find Belfast so far?
Well, lovely. I've come here once before. I mean, I literally got here for this time. I've only just got here really, so I haven't managed to see much of it. But I came here on a holiday to see some friends of mine a few years back, and I loved it. So I'm hoping to spend some more time here.
In terms of inspiration for what you do, where do you draw all of that inspiration from? Was it from growing up, or is it just recently?
Well, all the songs on my album are actually written in a period of time. I've got 2 songs that kind of sandwich the album together. One's called Winter Comes and one's called Summer Has to Come. And all the songs that I wrote are in between that period of time. So it definitely takes you on a journey of kind of what's been going on for me for the last few years, and sort of drawing upon that. So, I mean, I guess my influences really, they come from stuff that happens rather than like music itself, you know, and inspirations and stuff. So yeah, it's different heartbreaks or tragedy or travelling and seeing different things. So
if you were to pick one festival that you were looking forward most to play this summer, could you pick one, or even a few?
I think I'm desperate to see Outkast play, because they're coming back at a few festivals. I can't remember what ones they're headlining. If they're at Glastonbury, I mean, Glastonbury is special. I do love it there, so I'd probably have to say that, only if Outkast are playing there.
What are you looking forward most to over the next year? Where would you like to see yourself?
Yeah, that's a difficult question actually, because again, like, you know, I think,
Unpredictable.
yeah, it's so unpredictable. You know, I'm just enjoying what I'm doing at the moment and being able to kind of wake up every day and for people to want to hear your songs and stuff. It's just a really nice feeling. So if I can still be doing that this year, that will be a bonus. And every day I'll take as it comes and see what happens. But yeah.
If you were to have a goal as a musician, what would that be?
A goal as a musician, oh man. Well, I hope that, to be honest, it's probably not like a success thing for my goal. It's probably more to just be able to write songs and not worry about whether they're going to be popular or anything like that. Just write songs that you like and you want to sing and put them out, because I'm sure lots of singers and songwriters and artists and bands and stuff kind of go through a bit of a journey and change their sound because they want to try and reach a certain kind of market and stuff. But I hope that I'll be able to stick true to kind of what I love. So
Your single For Your Love is out in iTunes now.
yeah.
Tell us a bit about that. What sort of came whenever you were writing that? And
Yeah, that was it. I wrote that last year, where I was working with young people in gangs in London, and my house was horrible. I lived in like a 4-bedroom house with 9 people, and I used to go and there was a little community studio which I had the keys for it, so I wasn't breaking in, but like I wasn't supposed to go, and I used to go and stay there and sleep there because it had central heating and I just sort of do that at night. So I remember going down there, and I just was in a pretty bad place in terms of relationships and stuff, and I just had this thought that actually like love should kind of cover all those failings and stuff like that, and it shouldn't matter all the things that are going on. It shouldn't matter, like the love should sort of see us through. So that's when I wrote it. So there's a bit of a darkness to it, but also it is a love song, and I recorded it there that night, and actually the vocal from that night is still the vocal on it and stuff. So it feels really personal to me.
you've just released that single, but coming up in the summertime is your album Pillars.
Yeah.
What was, again, the inspiration behind that?
Yeah. What in terms of the title?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually like comes from a biblical story where I think it's Abraham that gets told. I'm not very good with my biblical knowledge, but I remember when I read it, I was like, wow, it really meant a lot to me. God sort of said to leave I think it was Sodom and Gomorrah or something like that, some of these cities or something, big Bible story, and he said don't look back, and one of his wives looked back and got turned into a pillar of salt. So kind of what I was thinking at the time is this body of work which I've done and written is over for me in terms of like kind of an emotional sort of way, and I can leave it behind, and that is a moment, and I'll move on and kind of not look back. So
Are all of the tracks on Pillars drawn from your own personal experiences?
yeah, totally. They're all written by me and all kind of. I mean, that's the thing that I feel really happy about, I guess, is that every song is genuine, and I can say a specific moment, and I can remember when I'm singing them and stuff. I often suddenly think, oh man, I remember that moment, when I wrote it or what I was feeling. So
How long does your songwriting process generally take?
not long, to be honest. Like, I feel like there becomes a massive need to write a song. So depending on what's kind of happened, I'll come home or I'll be at home, and I normally switch all the lights off and just get my guitar or the piano, and it just comes. I don't really like going back to songs and looking at them again, because I do believe there's that moment, where you capture something, and when that's your real like kind of raw emotion. So you should leave it there rather than try and polish it up and stuff. So.
To end the interview, we'll go for a cliche. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Ooh, 10 years. Hopefully here in the presidential suite. That would be awesome. In 10 years, yeah. If I'm still doing music and loving what I'm doing, I will be an incredibly happy man. So. Yeah.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Well, thanks for having us in the
It's quite
presentation.
alright, yeah.
I've been Rumdy from Queen's Radio. This is Josh Records. Say hello.
Thank you very much.
And thank you.